Okay, welcome everybody. Good day would be the appropriate pronunciation and how you're going would follow that. My name's James Hall and I'm from Nature's Wellness Hub, booth 407, so please come and have a chat afterwards. And all disease begins in the gut. Who's been here 2 days? Okay, so you've heard a lot about the gut. The wellness centre and the booths out the back. There's a lot of fantastic products out there. I'm new to the American industry. You gave me a green card. Don't quite know what you got yourselves in for. And it's, you know, one of the great things about being involved in this industry is the positivity of the people. I think the brightness in the eyes, the smiles, and it's everywhere, and it's in the people in the room, and it's in the people out there. So it's thanks for welcoming me. All disease begins in the gut. I mean, that guy was far ahead of his time, and he noticed it in what was very, very simple, uncomplicated societies, where we didn't have all this noise that we've currently got. So I hope that I can impart something to everybody in the graveyard shift, and I hope that you all get something out of it. I think it'll bring together a lot of what you've learned over the past couple of days and probably put it in a simple take-home message, or at least that's my hope. So hopefully I'll be able to do that for you. So today I'm going to focus on 4 pretty simple things. The first one is the theory of disease, germ versus cellular. Probably a few of you are familiar with that concept. If you're not, it'll be an eye-opener. What's causing the toxicity? We've heard a lot about that. But we might have a bit of a group discussion and try and get some thoughts happening on that. The role of leaky gut. There were some talks yesterday focusing on leaky gut. And then a balanced, holistic approach to health and well-being. And that's my take-home message. My journey, apart from 16,000 miles, 3 stopovers in 32 hours, the girl up the back, Renee, my wife, we met in Austin, Texas in, I'm going to get in trouble here, 2015. And we were married, and Renee came out to Australia. And when you're courting, you don't really recognise that people actually have certain tummy troubles. And we would go out and eat. She's probably going to be a little bit embarrassed about this. And if a red onion had touched something, whammo, out it would come. And I'd say, no, that doesn't happen. That's complete and utter bung. But it wasn't. It was real IBS, food sensitivities. It's something I'd never come across and was totally foreign to me. That was the fun bit. Renee went in search of a natural remedy. She's quite organic. And we fixed that. But then rheumatoid arthritis, or what we still don't quite know what it is. And, you know, I come from a scientific background, so let's go and see the specialist. That was the course of action. Went to see the specialist. Blood tests, didn't quite confirm. He did an ultrasound, that didn't quite confirm. Then he did a MRI. We went to his office. Yeah, you've got it. Here's a drug called methotrexate. Anyone know methotrexate? Okay, it's a chemo drug. Take this and see me in 6 months when he does the blood test to determine whether your liver's still functioning or not. Okay? James, the scientist, oh, okay, that's what you do. Yep, do that, go back and see him in 6 months. Renee at this stage fell apart. She'd done some research, hair loss, weight loss. And you see it on the television, don't you? You have really crazy ads over here, you know that? These ads that are trying to sell you, they're trying to sell you a product. Okay, so you got some joint pain, take this. Don't mind your hair falling out. Don't worry that you'll get constipated. Don't worry it'll destroy your liver. And give you psychotic episodes that may cause suicide. Yeah. And you just go, hang on. You know, someone's lost the plot here, haven't they? Really. So you've got, that's my journey. My journey was Renee didn't accept it and she went in search of a wellness solution, okay? And this industry was foreign to me at this stage. I went in search of scientific data to prove her wrong because I'm the scientist. So that was the start of my journey, which led me to being, you know, here on the stage today in front of you people. Really interesting journey. And you know, one good thing about the internet is the ability to assimilate knowledge. You've got to sift it. You know, caveat emptor, buyer beware. It's not all true. But the first thing in my journey was that once you started talking to people and actually saying, well, yeah, you know, we've got this rheumatoid arthritis or we've got this autoimmune response, all of a sudden someone would go, well, my aunt's got it and my uncle's got it and actually I've got it. Then you start talking to them about Crohn's or ulcerative colitis or some of these digestive issues and you start to know that there's a lot of people suffering out there, okay? And it's not until you verbalise that actually I've got this problem that people will actually open up to you and actually say, well, yeah, you know, my sister's got it, or my mum's got it, or my uncle's got it. It's out there in vast numbers. So that's just too many people are suffering. Oh, this is gold. If you take one thing home today, take this home. This chap here, Louis Pasteur, germ theory of disease, okay? The germ is bad, kill it. And if you can't, guess what you do? Treat the symptoms. I was taught this guy's theory of science. No shadow of a doubt. No shadow of a doubt. Go to the doctor, here, take these pills. 3 days later, come back and see me, it'll be gone. But the germ is bad, kill it. So you've got fish dying in a tank, vaccinate the fish. Easy. Job done. At around the same time, there was this guy here, Antoine Beauchamp. Cellular theory. Anyone aware of this before coming into the room today? Hands up. Okay. They hid this from me at school. Fair income. That's the Australian term for unbelievable. Germs are opportunistic in nature and they only take advantage of a diseased or compromised host. Rang true with me. I used to work construction, build large things out of concrete. You'd get a new job and you'd go to mobilise for a $500 million project and you've got to get people there, plant there, materials, you've got to do permits, you've got to do plans, you've got to submit 7 days a week, 16, 20 hours a day, you don't sleep, you run your body down, you eat the worst foods. And then when the project finally, you maintain all the way through and then the project finally mobilises and the day it mobilises, defences down, bang. Whatever was going around, I would get. Whatever. I would just come down with it. A diseased, acidic, low oxygen environment in which germs thrive is created by toxins, a nutrient deficient diet, toxic emotions, and a toxic lifestyle. We're living it. Damn. You're not, but a large proportion of the population is. He advocated the cultivation of health through detoxification, diet, hygiene, and healthy lifestyle practices. You're here because you want to do it. You're here because you know. But isn't it nice to actually hear that? That was when my world opened, to be honest. Go back and read about Beauchamp. There's a little fictitious story there that Pasteur came over to Beauchamp, but it's not quite true. It's a nice story, but it's not quite true. He joined another guy, but Pasteur, before his death, accepted that this was wrong. Father of modern pharmaceuticals, ladies and gentlemen. Treat milk to a very high temperature, kill the germs, it'll keep in your fridge. Pasteurisation of milk. This guy, father of modern naturopathy, homeopathy. No shadow of a doubt. I think they still teach him. I'm sure Trinity would, because he's just fantastic. So, pretty simple stuff. What's causing it, ladies and gentlemen? I've got 4 categories, could probably introduce a 5th. Anyone from the audience? Give me a category, a broad category. Food? You're onto it. You're onto it. Diet. Oh, my body's still in shock. One of our colleagues, Andrew. He went on was it the 30-hour, babe? He did the 30-day, no sugars, no sweeteners, no artificials, basically vegetables, meats, and egg, I think, 30 days. We observed this change in him over 30 days, and this is real. First thing, 12 pounds gone. No alcohol. Moderation. Second thing, we noticed just talking to him on the phone that his energy levels went from down here to up here in terms of his positivity, in terms of his attitude, in terms of his overall functioning. We could hear it on the phone. We could hear it in his voice, the way he was talking, what he was going to do. Okay, we don't quite realise how much energy it takes out of us to get rid of sugars and all those bad things. Third thing we noticed, he said, James, you would not believe where the temptations are and what you are subject to make you. American diet, on average, 65% ultra-processed foods. Ultra. 25% processed foods. 10% of the diet is in an unprocessed form. They're not my numbers. They come out of the stats. Bread. This is a cracker. That's how you make bread. In Australia, if you don't eat your bread within 2 days, you throw it in the bin. Or you make toast out of it. Actually makes really good toast. That stuff. Hang on, let's get down and have a look. This is from my mother-in-law's bench. I couldn't believe it. 6 weeks later, after it's still on the bench, still in a usable format. Yeah? Anyone eat that stuff? I hope not. I hope. Enriched wheat flour. Now that's the biggest con, that's the con of the century. Do you know what that means? Yeah, it makes it actually seem like it's good for you, doesn't it? It's enriched, it's better. It's better. They've taken all the goodies, they've chucked them over there, and they've given you what's left. That's what enriched is. Okay? They don't tell you that. It's done to speed up the baking process, to reduce the waste, and to increase the shelf life. Okay? That's what it's about. All knowing. Look at this. What is this stuff? Hey? Additives. Known to affect inflammation of the gut. Preservatives. Known to affect your gut microbiome. This stuff's toxic. Go and make some bread. It's fun. Kneading is very therapeutic. And then, of course, heard a bit about that while we've been here.
What is it?
This is soy and sugar in this product come from genetically modified crops. Okay? Compulsory labelling, 2020 over here, I think. Bring on the day. Okay? Bring on the day. The diet. That's one of the biggest toxins. Okay? What else have we got? Physical. I wonder what could be physically affecting us. Poor elimination, pooping. Don't like to talk about it, do we? But once you actually strike up a conversation there, people get pretty good at it. Everyone's doing it. You beauty. You beauty. But it is. It's our primary... Our body's very good at getting rid of toxins. Okay. What we've got to do is let it do its job. Defecation, urination, perspiration, respiration, ladies, menstruation. That's our body. Out we go. Food sensitivities, allergies. It's a funny one. When I was at school, a fair time ago, admittedly, every child in the class ate bread. Sandwiches. Everyone. No such thing as gluten intolerance. And look, anyone suffering celiacs, please. You have my empathy. Every child, we were brought little bottles of milk that we had to consume at morning tea. Recess, we called it, in Australia. No dairy sensitivities, no lactose intolerance. Something's changed, and it's in my lifetime, and that's serious. I believe that to be serious. It's not even a generation. It's within a generation. Inadequate bacterial acquisition kills 99.9% of germs is what rings in my head. Dishwashing detergent, the bloody stuff I clean my clothes with. Germs everywhere. We're trying to kill them. I used to play in the mud. What happened to that? I don't know. More germs. Build your tolerance. Rather than trying to kill the germs, build your tolerance. Lack of activity, toxins. We've heard a lot about them. Hey? 90,000 chemicals today on the market. 90,000. I like to say eliminate toxins. Air, water, food. Flint, Michigan, lead. I found the other day a website where if you're living somewhere and you've got a manufacturing facility nearby, you can actually go in and actually find out what they're emitting and whether they're compliant with their permits and things. It can impact. Pathogens, herbicides, pesticides, fungicides. These are real baddies. Microtoxins, I think they call them. Anyone know about fungicides and insecticides? How they work, their mode of action? Okay, they're systemic herbicides. Insecticides, I'll use insecticides as an example. So to keep your apples nice and red and untouched and perfect, what they do is they spray the crop. They spray all the apples and the trees and the leaves, and what the tree does is actually take up the insecticide and transfer it to the fruit and the growing points, so that when that little nasty comes along and goes to put a hole in your apple, it goes, dies. It's the same with fungicides. They're being taken up by the plant. It's your Roundup Readies, it's your glyphosate. The plant takes up the glyphosate. They put a gene into the wheat to enable it to deal with it. So you've got glyphosate running around this wheat plant and going into it. And no one's saying anything. Bizarre. Antibiotics. Got a virus? Take these. See me in 8 weeks. No thought about the impact on gut microflora. No secondary prescription to actually assist your body to deal with actually getting back from this. Non-steroidal, list goes on. How am I going for time, Julian? Got half an hour still? Cool. And I only learned about plastic recently. What have they been doing? I don't know. Cosmetics. Sunscreens, another one that concerns me. Microfilm that can stop the sun's rays. Can't be good for me. I don't use it. I minimise my exposure in the sun. Let the body deal with it through pigmentation. But I think that's the next biggie. Cosmetics. We're becoming aware, which is good, and there's a groundswell, which is good, and we're getting access to clean and green products, which is good. So that's been a positive change. There's something positive coming. Stress. Whew. I think it was you, sir, who said stress. Toxic emotions. He talked about toxic emotions. There's stress everywhere. New field of medicine. Yeah? Nutrient psychiatry. Wow. They've actually formally accepted that there's an interaction between what goes on in the gut and the way we think. Okay? It's fantastic. Vagus nerve. Gut to brain. Okay? They did a really interesting trial. It wasn't a trial. They injected a guy's blood with a blue dye to see where it would go in the body. And it went everywhere bar the brain. Okay? So the brain has developed a mechanism called the brain-blood barrier breach. That's one of those English terms, isn't it? It's bloody hard to say. Which only allows certain things in and certain things out. Okay? The human body's amazing. It is amazing. So, 10% of your serotonin receptors are up here. 10% of your serotonin is produced here. That's your general feel good. Makes you feel good. Guess where the other 90% are? In the gut, sir. You're spot on. And the serotonin here doesn't breach the blood barrier breach. It can only communicate via the vagus nerve as the feeling of well-being. So you have that gut-wrenching moment in the car last night driving home in that rain. Whew, that was a scary experience, by the way. Fair income. And you get loose bowels. That's the brain saying, hang on a second, we've got something going on here and I want you to take some action. I think it has to do with there's a reason for that, and I think it must be that poo maybe smells and maybe the mammoth or the lion took off in the other direction. Don't know, but there's a reason for it, okay? They have found, and poor old mice get a rough deal, but they have found that by changing the gut microbiome in mice, they actually induce a stress-related response. Okay, so they're finally working out there's a relationship between the gut and what goes on. So we've got environmental has to be there, cold, heat, those sorts of things if we're exposed to environmental challenges. Leaky gut. Stress, toxins, food particles, drugs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, aspirin, ibuprofen, known to cause inflammation of the gut. Known, it's proven. So we get a headache, what do? Take a couple of these and she'll be right, mate. Yeah? What caused it? You didn't drink enough water. Yeah? Maybe. Not enough sleep. Maybe it's stress. Maybe there's other reasons. But we're just this convenience in a packet of treating the symptoms rather than actually going to the cause, treating the root cause. So what we've got is normal, healthy gut, tight junctions, circulating bloodstream. Those things that are supposed to get through into the bloodstream get through. Okay? Again, your body's very good at actually keeping toxins out, and when they get in, eliminating them. But once we get inflammation of the mucosal cells of the intestine, things that weren't supposed to be getting in there start to get in there. Okay? Talked about that. We've got unwanted baddies getting into the brain. That's the blood-brain barrier breach. We get systemic inflammation, autoimmunity. These things get in there and the body, the immune system says, hang on, something's not right, goes out and search. Modern day and age, a couple of things potentially happen. First thing is, it doesn't recognise some of these things. GMOs, area planted in 1997, anyone hazard a guess? 4 million acres. GMOs 2017, anyone hazard a guess? It's the whole lot, man. 470 million acres, a 100-fold increase in 20 years. It's scary stuff. It's scary stuff. Soy's a baddie. Soy and corn are the baddies. It's unfortunate because they appear in most of your food products. Soy, sugar, corn's cheap. So we get this autoimmune response. The other thing that happens potentially is that we get that many toxins and that many things into the system that the immune response system can't actually deal with them all, and that can potentially exacerbate into other things. Okay? And it affects the whole body. And this isn't just me. There's 1,000 research papers. Go and research. Type it in. There's people ignoring the fact that it doesn't happen, but then we've got medical institutions actually undertaking replicated scientific research. Affects the brain, skin, acne, rosacea. We get thyroid. Colon's probably where the most is. We've got constipation, we've got diarrhea, we've got inflammatory bowel disease, we've got diverticulitis, we've got ulcerative colitis. Joints. This is my particular pet with my darling wife. And look, we're still on our journey, okay? And we're having some improvement, and we're making gains. And I think in terms of your digestive system, it took me 50 plus years to get my digestive into the system in the state that it was. I'm not going to fix it with a pill. Sorry. And I think just remember it's a journey and not a race. For anyone who's suffering an illness, whether it be a digestive illness, it's a journey, it's not a race. Surround yourself with positive people. Are current treatments working?
No.
These are your stats. These aren't fictitious or from Australia. If anyone would like a copy of this, by the way, come and see me in booth 407 afterwards, and I can send you a PDF copy if anyone's interested in it, okay? So 407, come and give us your email address, and we can get you this certainly. Food allergy diagnosis has doubled over the past decade. This is US stats. These aren't mine. 1 in 10 people now suffer IBS. 1 in 10. I never used to actually believe these figures. They'd say in Australia that 1 in 8 people suffers diabetes, and I'd go, I don't know anybody that suffers bloody diabetes. But then I would talk to people and someone would go, yeah, I've got it. I've got type 1, oh, hang on, I've got type 2. And it's not until you actually promote them that they actually come out. They're hiding the data. Autoimmune disease prevalence is increasing at 10% per annum. 45% increase in major depression diagnosis. We're living longer, but we ain't happy. Diabetes set to increase 50% in the next 15 years. Obesity increased 20% in the last. Hey? 838 prescriptions for every 1,000 people in America. It's not doing a lot of good. If they were my numbers in a CEO in a corporation, I don't know. I think I'd lose my job. That's a bad set of numbers. And these are just, every 1 in 3 prescriptions are unnecessary. That's for the Centre for Disease and Control Prevention. Is it 2 out of 3? Okay, those were the numbers that I found. Okay. Are current treatments working? No. It's just a flat no. And they're not my numbers. They're fact. What we have got is an increasing body of evidence that a healthy gut, and I'm sure people have been to the seminars, I haven't seen them all, but there'll be other people who are supporting this, promotes optimal nutrient absorption, protects from infection, prevents systemic inflammation, I think does. Andrew's experience is testament to that, and promotes regular toilet habits. That's the pretty simple take-home message. There's some detail within that. I should have actually had another bullet point up the top, and that is surround yourself with positive, healthy, like-minded people and professionals. Okay? That should be the start of any journey, because once you do, it actually becomes a little bit infectious. And everyone out there has got something to offer, or they've got some support. Okay? We're all different. There'll be different solutions. We have different lifestyle practices, different diets. Any approach to wellness should start with a healthy gut. It's pretty simple. Cleanse. Anyone had a cleanse? Yeah, a few people. Okay, so a cleanse is the start. Detoxify and restore. And then look after it. We actually sell a gut health product. If you're not going to do these other things, don't buy it. Save your money. It's that simple. Elimination, water quality and intake. Eliminate toxins and parasites. I'll get onto that. Improve your diet, exercise regularly and sleep well. Reduce stress, manage stress. Okay, again, it's based on Beauchamp. Cleanse. This is where I start to get really personal. Hey? Who has more than 2 bowel movements today? Okay, not enough, ladies and gentlemen. 2 to 4. They studied Africans who were about as far removed from any of the toxins or any of those lifestyle aspects that we are, we talked about before. Largely a plant-based diet. 2 to 4 larger, softer stools per day. Eliminate the toxins, eliminate all that noise. 2 to 4 large, soft stools a day. And defecation, primary exit for toxins. And if we're not getting rid of it, it's festering in there. I'm a bloke, which is Aussie for boy. Single blokes tend not to be on the healthiest side when it comes to dishes and things. You put those dishes in the sink the first day, they're okay. Come back the second day with a bit of water and there's starting to be a bit of grime. Come back on that third day and oh no, even the blokes start to think, no, this is too much, I better do something with that. And your bowels are the same. If you're not cleaning that out on a daily basis, there's things in there that shouldn't be, and that's causing nutrient malabsorption, that's leading to toxic overload. We've really got to get things moving. That's, you service the car, you drop the oil out. We've got to get these things moving. Anyone have trouble going to the toilet? I won't ask that, that's a personal question. Posture actually matters. If you're having trouble, toilet school, squatty potty, I'm not involved with them in any shape or form. I receive no kickbacks. Breathe, relax, take your time. It's not a race. We've been programmed not to go to the toilet. Okay? We've actually been programmed. You had to put your hand up at school to ask if you could go. You'd be told no, go at recess or lunch. In a modern environment, because we are a bit toxic, I was programmed to go 20 minutes after I got up each day. So I didn't have to go at work. If I missed that, I got constipated badly. We've got a lady here. Squatty potty. What you can't see is the picture. So this lady's, there's a dunny there, because we call them dunnies, and she's got a stool down there, and it puts you in this sort of position, but in a comfortable fashion, so you're still upright. Okay? So posture matters, and learn to poo in public. Get over it. When your body tells you to go, go. Don't worry where the hell you are. Just learn to do it. And if you haven't got impacted faeces, it actually sort of, I'll use a toilet paper analogy later, but if you've got healthy working bowels, you shouldn't actually need toilet paper, to be honest. You're wiping, there's nothing there. No, fair income. Okay, so you want to cleanse. If you're into the herbs, psyllium, cascara, rhubarb, senna, ginger, dandelion, slippery elm, licorice root. Anyone familiar with those ones up on the board? We've got a shake of the head, shake of the head, shake of the head. Yep, okay. Super stuff. Some of them sort of stimulate the intestine to actually get it out. So cascara's become one of the baddies, got a bit of a bad word. And you become sort of dependent on it, and when you go off it, then you can't poop again, which is a bit sad. Yes?
I heard that senna is habit forming, like your body.
That's the same. Cascara's got the same name. FDA actually removed cascara from their approved sort of laxative list for that exact reason. Okay? So it's everything in moderation. So. No, but psyllium's the metamucil, isn't it? Is psyllium, isn't it? I think. Can anyone confirm that? I think I can confirm that. So you've got psyllium husk. That'll get things moving if you have to. Detox, you've got, these things will actually go in and actually assist with liver detoxification. They'll assist with sort of free radicals. There's antioxidants, there's anti-inflammatories. So we've got horsetail, Irish moss, chlorella, dandelion root, passion flower. Bacteria is a big one. Range of herbs and things that are out there. There's a lot of natural products out there that we can use to eliminate toxins, to eliminate parasites. Parasites, an organism that thrives in or on an organism and benefits by deriving nutrients at the other's expense. Okay? Baddies. Intestinal worms, ringworms, giardia, lice. Did anyone see the worm story the other day? That's real. That's bloody real. That bugger there. That's parasites, that's worms. There was a lady yesterday who gave a talk before lunch on worms, I think. Did anyone catch that one yesterday? Yes, we've got someone who did. Yeah, it was pretty frightening, wasn't it? I think she scared everybody down to a booth. Worms? Oh, Jesus. How many people in the audience? Let's say we've got 45, 50. I've got 10 minutes. 1 in 6. 10 of you've got worms. Possibly more. Yeah. She said everybody. Okay, I'm going for... She said everybody. Oh, that's even better. That's even better. And this bugger here is the hookworm. This one's actually quite common. This one goes in and attaches to the intestinal lining and actually draws blood as its food source. You've got the roundworm, which is the other common one. 8-week life cycle on these buggers. Okay, from egg to hatching, we've got an 8-week life cycle. Anyone who tries to tell you they've got a parasitic, take this pill, you'll be done with worms.
What if it's garlic?
Pardon?
What if it's garlic?
Garlic, eat enough every day. We've got I don't know about garlic and parasites. I know garlic has lots of wonderful health benefits and it just tastes so bloody good, doesn't it? If it wasn't for the breath thing, you'd just do it for breakfast, wouldn't you? Hey? So I can't comment on garlic, but this lady says garlic. Look, I'm sure there's lots of other remedies out there if you have a look at the, knowledge is free. Minimise your exposure. Animals, it's feces basically. Can be transferred by the family pet. So just be aware. Be aware. We've got the life cycle there, 6 to 8 weeks. We've got good anti-parasitics. We've got cloves, verdanga, black walnut, slippery elm. Cascara is actually one of the good parasites. Witch hazel. Look, minimise your exposure to toxins. Learn to read labels. Okay? Become informed about what you're actually consuming. And I think that, especially those people with teenage kids or kids, get them to learn to read a label. The other thing you might like to do is to actually teach them to cook. There's kids out there that think that cooking is opening the freezer, grabbing a box, putting it into a microwave and pressing 3 on high. It's really sad. Teach your kids to cook. It was one of the greatest skills I ever gave my kids. In 19. I started teaching them to cook when they were about 13. And it's a great lifestyle skill. It's a lot of fun. It's great for stress. You cook, you're not thinking, you're just cooking. Fantastic thing. So if you do have children, teach them, because it's going to become a forgotten skill. And if you don't have children, remember this: teach them to cook. Okay? It's a great life skill. Shop smart. Anybody heard of the Dirty Dozen, Clean 15? Okay, a few people. It's great. Look, shopping organic's expensive. Oh, sorry, I find it expensive. I paid $4.50 for the first organic tomato of the season. Over here. It was a bit of a shock. But we took it home and we sliced that up with Renee's mum and we added mozzarella cheese, fresh basil, olive oil and cracked black pepper. And it was the sweetest thing I'd ever eaten, worth every cent of $4.50. It was just fantastic, Dirty Dozen, Clean 15. For those that don't know, it's actually published by the US Department of Ag and the US Environmental Protection Agency. The Dirty Dozen are the list of produce with the most pesticide residues. Okay? Some of my favourites are in there. Some of my favourite things that I like to eat are in there. If you're going to spend your money or limited funds on healthy produce, target this side. Okay? Clean 15, it's not saying they haven't got any, so if you're a purist, just, stay organic if you can. But, shop smart. Oops. Take these, wash them, take the outer layers off, do the right things, and you'll be right. And grow your own when you can. Nothing better than getting the fresh ones out of the garden. Clean water and more water. I think, if you go into the toilet maybe once a day and your urine's sort of that yellow to orange colour, take a good hard look at yourself. Because if you're putting pressure, you're putting pressure on your liver, We say 2 to 3 litres. What's 2 to 3 litres in fluid ounces? Can anyone tell me? How many? That's the amount of water a day we should be putting through our body. Urinating quite often. And clean water. We have rainwater in Australia, and we're pretty fortunate because most of the water comes straight off the southern Atlantic, and it doesn't hit anything before it gets to us. So we put a tank on the side of the house and call it rainwater. No fluorides, no chlorides. But clean water, it's water filters over here, and get a good one and change the damn thing. Hey? Get a good one and change the damn thing. Minimise chemicals. It is that 99.9% of, I'll kill that bacteria. What am I killing it with, and what it's doing to me is a different story. There's lots of great organic supermarkets out there if you can't make your own, but there'll be a lot of very good recipes on the internet that actually will get that grime off the oven. Spend a little time, the rewards will be great. Care about personal beauty products, that's my pet one there, sunscreens. And these things here. I'm not going to say don't take antibiotics again if I'm not going to say that. I'm going to certainly do my darndest not to, but at some point it's going to become where I have to. But understand what they're doing to your gut, because you are wiping out the microflora. And if your diet's not that good in the first place, in terms of prebiotic fibres, it's not going to re-bloody populate like magic. Okay? Only when you can, and don't forget, you've got to find out that root cause. It's interesting with Crohn's, they diagnose Crohn's on the basis of symptoms rather than a cause. That's what they do. They look at the symptoms. We know a guy, James Cook, who's involved with us in our industry. He was diagnosed with Crohn's to the point where it was debilitating. He couldn't take a bus ride without literally having an accident. Ended up being parasites. Diagnosed with Crohn's, ended up being parasites. Who knows what the cost of the treatment for Humira is? Okay, for rheumatoid arthritis. My figure said 22, so it obviously depends upon the dose. So rheumatoid arthritis, they diagnose it by the symptoms. They don't diagnose it by the cause, and it's symptoms-based, $22,000 a year for the rest of your life. It's a liver one as well. And it will have a direct impact on your gut, I bet. Next time you see those adverts, you look at stress. No, won't impact your gut? Oh, okay. Okay. Diet, the biggies. Lose ultra-processed foods. Pick foods that work for you. Little elimination trial's always good. We got prebiotics. I like the plant prebiotics, it's a lot easier. Change your diet. Psyllium, hibiscus, licorice root, slippery elm, yucca root, dandelion. Increase fruit and veg. Increase fruit and veg. It's pretty simple. It's the insoluble fibre that feeds beneficial gut microbes. Sorry, soluble. It's incorrect. Soluble fibre. And fibre ain't fibre. Okay, wheats. Anyone know wheat? It's about 90% insoluble, 10% soluble, I think. Oats is somewhere in the middle, about 50-50. Yep, then you move to a product like psyllium, it's about 90% insoluble, 90% soluble, 10% insoluble. So do a little bit of research on your fibres if you're looking to get a healthy gut microbiome. Probiotics. Anyone take probiotics? Okay, so we've got a few people in the audience. I'm still a big believer in feed the bugs, and that'll actually deal with the probiotic imbalance. Okay. Should anyone be on probiotics long term? Look, I'm going to say no. If that's the case, go back and fix the root cause. Go back over here and find out what's causing the problem if it's the diet. And you can get them. So sort of they're live bacteria, they're fermented foods. Sauerkraut's the big one, isn't it? The yogurts, I think. Yogurt, yeah. Okay. And it is important to feed those bugs, because the good bugs, Lactobacillus bifidobacterium, they actually repopulate over the bad bugs. So that's the problem when we attack the good bugs, is the bad bugs come back. Okay, you've got demulcents, which have a really important place. They lower transit times, absorb toxins, regulate flora, relax and soothe the intestine. So that's cleanse, detox, restore. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Rosella, licorice root, horsetail, slippery elm, cascara's there again. Marshmallow root, oat straw, meadowsweet. All available on the net. Again, if you want to see a presentation or have a chat with us, come back downstairs and meet the team. So that's it. That's the balanced holistic approach. Any questions?
Oh, what?
It's a bit around the keto, isn't it? Is that what we're getting onto? Okay, so what intermittent fasting or sort of serious fasting, what we're looking for there is our bodies have become accustomed to regular and frequent eating based around the diets that we eat. Okay? So we say we're hungry, we feed it sugar, it's instantly metabolised, turns in. Our bodies have forgotten how to deal with fat. So the basic principle of the keto is that we fast, and our ancestors a long, long time ago ate a lot and then fasted and starved, ate a lot and fasted and starved. So they deposited fat and they consumed the fat. So in terms of fasting, I think they say, optimally somewhere around 12 to 14 hours a day between one meal and the next meal would be ideal. But I've also got to say, there's that many diets out there at the moment that I'm confused. I saw a guy the other day on the carnivore diet, one of the fittest, buffest bloody blokes ever seen. He said, all I do is eat meat. I said, bullshit. That's Australian for I don't believe you. Fridge full of ribeye sirloin about yay thick. That was it. That was literally it, and he's living off that. So when it comes to diets, whether it be, I think the keto is probably quite a good one. Paleo, if you're genuinely serious, but you've got to be aware that it's incredibly difficult to remain sort of religious about them, because we're surrounded by a lot of things that.
Diet or whatever. What did he look like on the carnivorous diet?
That's what I said. He was
Fat?
absolutely. I mean, I'm a bloke, so I'm not going to say that I found him attractive, but he had the body that I want.
He looked good?
Absolutely, Mickey Mouse. Yeah, over here.
On one of the slides in your diet.
Hello. Okay. On one of the slides under diet, you had the word enzyme. Was that the enzyme will help us or harm us as far as leaky?
The enzyme. We need to get them back into our system. So they're positive. They're positive, definitely. Lady over here for one more.
The yogurt you get in the store is dead. The culture's dead. There's
Okay.
nothing good in it. You
Anyone
almost
like
have to make your own yogurt.
to
I
add
think.
comment to that? Support that? We've got an agreement over here. I don't know the answer, ma'am, but thanks for adding that. Thanks for adding that. So make your own yogurt. Is it difficult? I don't know.
There's some live yogurt out there.
Nor have I. Okay, again, you know, I'm from Nature's Wellness Shop, James. Thanks for being here. I hope I've given you some good take-home messages. I wish you well in your wellness adventure. If you come down, you can grab a card. We've got some products down there that you may find interesting. But also we've got our details. Again, if anyone would like a copy of the presentation, come down, give us your email address. I'll zoom you through a PDF version. So thank you very much.
Thank you.